What would Frank Agan tell his 18-year-old self?
I think for me, that's an easy question because I'm the networking person. 18, I'm going off to college, and I went off to a small college in Wisconsin, a small liberal arts college, to play football. I literally didn't visit. I just knew I could play football there, and I showed up August of 1980. Um, and I played football, and my football teammates are some great friends I have out there. Most of them were part of the same fraternity, and I really didn't know a lot of people outside of those circles. I was happy in those circles, but as time has gone on, and I've met other people that I was in school with, but didn't get to know,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of kicked myself. And if I had to say something to my 18-year-old self, playing football's fine, being in the fraternity's fine, but I would really double down on trying to get to know and create relationships with other people. And I've asked that same question on my podcast, and I get a similar answer. Maybe not the same backstory,
Mm-hmm.
but geez, I was in one of my franchisees told me I was at this campus, and here are the sons and daughters of all of these big executives, and I didn't realize what I had there. So that would be it. It's network.
So that is so in your DNA. You are doing what you're supposed to do. Now, I gotta ask you this one. How did you get so wise? I mean, we're not going to dissect your family background. I'm serious. What messages did you get from your relatives when you were growing up that you're a wise one?
Yeah, I don't really know. My dad was a college professor. My mom was an academic as well. And they mentioned, hey, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But when you're a kid, you never listen to your parents, right? They could give you the 6 winning lottery numbers, you wouldn't play them. And it's just, I think you just kind of stumble into it. And you just start to realize now, mind you, this is my business, right? My
Right.
business is about relationships and getting people to understand how they can make them work. And so I have that advantage, and I think about it a lot. I read a lot of studies related to how social psychology type studies and how we interact, and economics, and how things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to psychologists and what they see. And it's like the story I told about the broken femur. I think about those things. So I think it's just, and I've made a lot of mistakes. I have made a lot of mistakes. Just silly things, said dumb things. So you learn. The 3 people that will benefit the most from this are my 3 kids. They are just,
Tell
you
us
know,
why.
well, they see it. They
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm big into small talk, and I'll just strike up a conversation with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter came to me once. She goes, "Yeah, I was at this thing, and guess what I did? I franked this guy." What do you mean you franked him? I just had a conversation with him. It's a random conversation, and but small talk is such a huge thing for creating rapport. And I see both my sons kind of the same thing. They have these social skills, and they're in their mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
They're, they're 20 years ahead of where I was.
Mm-hmm.
And that's people say, are they going to take over your business? No, they don't want to take over my business. They have their own success path they're on, and they need to follow that path and not follow in dad's footsteps. Because they have all the abilities. But what I have taught them are the important things. That this is how you treat people. This is how you interact. This is how you create success through building social capital with people.
They are lucky to have you as a dad, and vice versa, obviously. I franked this. I love that. Now, and I'm just going to tell you really quick what I've done this with my grandkids from when they were little. Now they're off to They've all graduated from University of Michigan. I know, Ohio.
Go Blue.
And now they're all on grad school or a real job as an attorney, and all three of them are just doing great things. I said the same thing to all three. The secret to success is to ask other people questions about themselves.
Yeah.
Now I realize that's before I was a coach, so maybe it was in my DNA too, and that came from, backstory, a guest who stayed here with my husband and I for 2 weeks, and every night it was all about him. And I had such a headache. And so when my grandkids came over right after this guy left, I just had a new story for them, right? You're just full of stories.